Welcome to the Clubhouse Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Nate, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Nate's DB Breakdown. Before I get into anything, just quickly I'd like to mention, if you guys have any suggestions, make sure to follow the Instagram at clubhouse.cast. Drop any DMs, anything you have to say, any feedback, make sure to drop it in there. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, I'll take them, whether it be high school, college, NFL DBs, doesn't matter, CFL DBs, whatever it is, I'll break them down. I'm just here doing what you guys want me to do, breaking down the corners you guys want me to break down. But yeah, today, this episode, we're going to be going over cornerback Quinton Dunbar. He was recently traded to the Seattle Seahawks for a 5th-round pick. That was amazing value. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, his injuries and his durability is an issue, but he was ranked second by Pro Football Focus in the highest cornerbacks. Second. That's amazing. Yeah, but he's definitely going to battle with Trey Flowers, but for the perimeter spot on defense. But I'm sure the Seahawks will find something to use a big nickel package, maybe have a 5-2-4 kind of situation going on there. But we'll see. We'll see what the Seahawks do with that. But I'm sure they'll be able to use they'll be able to use their DB skill sets the best way possible. But yeah, let's get right to it. So another quick little intro. Not usually, but in the last episode, the Darius Slay episode, which, by the way, that was all over the place. My facts were completely off. So there will be a lot more better episodes to come. That was just a test run, a trial run. So just disregard that. But I used 4 main traits to break down my DBs in the last episode, which was zone and man coverage, footwork, and productivity. However, I tried to change. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to break them down differently. So, number 1, we're going to go with speed. As we know, at least in my opinion, the speed / quickness is the best attribute to have as an athlete, whatever sport it is. And by speed, I'm referring to their quickness on the field. I'm not referring to the 40-yard dash. I'm not referring to how fast they can run in a straight line. To me, that doesn't matter. I'm talking about how quick they are, how quick a back can flip their hips, or how quick a running back can hit a hole. I'm talking about speed, not straight line speed, but I'm talking about speed and quickness and agility. Second, I'm going to go over coverage skills. This stays the same. It's just one bigger category, makes it a lot easier. Third, footwork. I did that. This involves like the way the corners position themselves, their alignment, their backpedaling, the ability to flip their hips, breaking into and undercutting routes, and just honestly how fast they are on their feet and how their footwork helps their game and elevates them to the next level. Fourth, this is going to be knowledge, and this starts from like the basics to their hips lowered, knees bend strong, they have a strong back and stuff like that, like just the basics. And to analyzing the player, I'd like to show, like, do they show a deep understanding of the game? Are they a football whiz kid? Can they read routes, or are they just a pure athlete that just somehow squeaks by? So yeah, that's what I mean by knowledge. But for corners, by knowledge, I mean, can they read receivers' routes? Can they react quickly? Or do they sometimes get caught up and they get juked and they rely on their makeup speed? Being a DB, you got to be a very smart player. You got to be one of the smartest players on the field at that moment next to the quarterback and the safety or the middle linebacker. You got to be very smart. You got to be anticipating their next move. So knowledge is a big, big factor. I have that up there. That's 4th. And 5th and last, we got impact on the team. How does this cornerback help out the team, or safety? How do they help out the team? And especially when they've been traded, we can evaluate them even better we can use the last team's defense opposing to the new team's defense and see how they compare and how this cornerback is going to just shift from defense to defense and how they're going to fit into that team. Yeah, and beyond the physical impact, we're going to talk about just slightly, are they like a locker room drama queen, or are they a stand-up leader? Are they going to be a guy that everyone's going to look up to, or are they going to be a guy that just sits in the sidelines? Not sit on the sidelines, but they're just in the shadows, just relaxing. 6th, well, this isn't the 6th one, but this is just like a subtopic. I might get into it with some of the DBs, I might not. Really depends on how I'm feeling. Their mentality. Is this player a beast? Are they gonna whack you in the face? Or are they gonna mentality? that goes without saying. Do they have that football Mamba mentality to just knock a player out whenever they want? Because a lot of cornerbacks, not to throw any names out there, but CJ Henderson are scared to hit. That was no shade to CJ Henderson, but I'm telling you that I've seen the film. The guy is scared to hit sometimes, and that's a problem with many cornerbacks on outside runs. And even I refuse to contain and just hit. Listen, that's what happens when you're a cornerback. But do they have that dog mentality to just straight up hit, or when they're matching up against a big receiver, do they have the mentality like, oh, I'm going to swipe you off and this is going to be no problem? So yeah, that's basically it. Speed, coverage, footwork, knowledge, impact on the team, and if I get to it, mentality. I don't want to make these episodes too long. Just want to make them short and simple and give you as much knowledge in the shortest amount of time as possible. So yeah, let's get right to it. So let's get right into it. With speed, that's going to be the first attribute we go over. Very important. At the cornerback position, you use your speed through when you have to undercut routes, when you have to cover receivers on goes, which is when the 40-yard dash stat does come in handy. Um, when you have to rush to the outside to hit a running back, when you notice a screen. So those are the main things that a cornerback needs to use their speed for. So yeah, let's go over it. As far as screens go, Quinton Dunbar, and as far as running backs running to the outside, Quinton Dunbar has that dog mentality. He's not scared to hit. He's an aggressive player. So his 40-yard dash time actually was a 4.44 back when he was a receiver in Florida University. So yeah, I'm not really worried about his speed to get to the ball and to tackle someone. And actually, I'm not worried about his speed at all. The 4.44 40-yard timing doesn't matter to me when it comes to Quinton Dunbar. He does play man coverage most of the time, but he also plays 6 to 7 yards off. So the quarterback doesn't know whether Quinton Dunbar is playing zone, whether he's playing man. He disguises it very, very, very well. So as far as his speed to undercut routes, I think it's amazing. And his speed to run to a route and notice a route is amazing, like I said. He picks up on these things very, very quickly, and it's all in one motion. His feet backpedal, and then when he notices it, it's just a stop and a go, and he just starts running into the route. And it makes it a lot harder for quarterbacks to want to target their receivers because they know Quinton Dunbar has that speed and he has that knowledge to just dissect a route and just run straight into it. Obviously, 4.44 40-yard dash is like, oh my God, that's a cornerback. He should be running a 4.3 4.2. Well, that's his 40-yard dash. However, his knowledge and his quickness, his in-game quickness, makes up for his lack of 40 time, which is apparently one of the biggest stats nowadays. But his speed, I'd have to give it an A minus. If I had to nitpick anything, it'd be that it would be if he was going to press somebody, he might get caught up. Actually, with Deshaun Jackson, actually in week 1, he did get caught on a corner route. He didn't know where to go. His feet weren't set correctly, so he kind of got caught there. But the Redskins and the Seahawks for sure aren't going to use him as a press man coverage player. So I'm not worried about his speed on go routes and his speed on fly routes. That's not something I'm much worried about. So that's the only thing I had to nitpick about. If they do put him in press man coverage, he wouldn't be as effective with those twitchy fast receivers. But overall speed, I'd give it an A minus for sure. Moving on to Quinton Dunbar's footwork, I think this is a very, very crucial aspect of his game. As he was a wide receiver in Florida, his footwork is amazing. So he knows how to come into routes. And this segment is going to be really quick because he was a receiver. There's not much more to say. He has the feet of a receiver, so that makes mirroring a lot easier. That makes cutting into routes a lot easier, and that makes dropping back a lot easier because he's already used to. If he is already used to running routes, then backpedaling can be second nature for him, and which it is now. So I think his footwork is a very important aspect to his game because it allows him to cut into routes and just move from man to zone coverage so effectively. And the way he flips his hips helps him out a lot because when you're playing man and then you're about to drop into zone, you gotta shift and kind of do like a 180. Depending on what cover schemes you're playing, it helps him a lot that he has great receiver feet, and I think that his footwork is an A plus. He has receiver feet, so it helps his cornerback game a lot much more, and it helps him drop back into coverages a lot easier. His backpedaling is stellar. He obviously has the basics: 45-degree angle, knees bent, hips lowered. He has it all down packed. Quinton Dunbar's footwork A plus, no discussion there. Moving on to man and zone coverage, the Redskins really love their 3-4 defense, which I thought was horrid. It did not work at all. They had Ryan Kerrigan and Montez Sweat moving into coverage. That is a complete mismatch the entire way. They're hybrids, but they're not hybrids to be playing coverage at all. Greg Minuski had no idea what he was doing with his 3-4 defense that they had been running for the past decade. But that's going to change, obviously, with Ron Rivera coming in, Chase Young coming in. They're going to have to run to the 4-3 defense. However, they really did often move to nickels, so they had 5 cornerbacks on the field. But as far as Josh Norman and Quinton Dunbar go, those are the 2 main cornerbacks I'm focusing on. Josh Norman was a man-to-man press corner compared to Quinton Dunbar, who wasn't really a man-to-man press corner. He was a cushion corner, but he played man. So with that said, it made him a lot more effective in the sense that quarterbacks or receivers didn't know what defense he was playing or defensive scheme the whole entire defense was running, because he was playing off the ball. He was playing pretty soft. So they were like, is he in zone? Are they in cover 2? Are they in cover 3? Are they in cover 3 drop? What are they doing? You can never know with Quinton Dunbar because he was off the ball. He's not a press man coverage corner. So as you can see in this play right here, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to it, make sure to go check it out on YouTube. The clip will be there. He's lined up on Deshaun Jackson about 10 yards off the ball, maybe a little more. That's probably a little less, but he's 10 yards off the ball, and he signals to his safety, Jimmy Moreland, number 32 on the Redskins. He signals something he speaks to Jimmy Moreland, and as you see in the play, they do a little twist action. So Jimmy Moreland comes underneath and just picks up Deshaun Jackson. And then Quinton Dunbar backpedals and waits for Nelson Aguilar to run that. He picks up the slot receiver, Nelson Aguilar, and while Nelson Aguilar is running up the hash, he notices this, and what he basically does is he just comes in and just disrupts the play entirely, hits Nelson Aguilar, ball goes flying. So I think this play shows right here how effective him being off the ball as a man coverage corner shows how he can be versatile on the field and how his impact on the team is just amazing. But to be a nitpicker again, he's not a man press corner, and that's his only downfall. But that's really not something we're going to have to worry about in the future with him being on the Seahawks. He's also on a 1-year contract, so wherever team he goes to after this 2020 season, we're not really going to need to worry about his man press coverage skills because he is a soft man coverage corner. But I think as far as his man and zone skills go, I'd have to give him a B+, because he disguises his coverage schemes very, very well, and the quarterback does not know what to do. Quinton Dunbar was a receiver at the University of Florida, so as far as the knowledge aspect goes, I think this is his best attribute. I'm going to go right off the bat and say he gets an A+. This is his best attribute by far. Reason I say this, he knows the route tree very well. He understands what routes receivers are going to run, and he makes plays. He knows where the ball is going to go and just straight up makes the play. He racked up 4 interceptions over 11 games. It's very, very impressive considering he wasn't very durable throughout the season. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see this clip. If you're listening, make sure to go tune into YouTube, subscribe to the channel, share it, like it, do what you got to do. Remember, helping a brother out is always free. You don't have to put in any money. All you're doing is supporting us. But with that said, we're going to go on this play against the New York Giants. The Giants went on to win this game 24-3. It's 1st and 10. Giants on the 40-yard line. Daniel Jones is playing quarterback, his second game of the season. Rookie quarterback, but still, this is an amazing play. Um, as you can see, Quinton Dunbar is lined up on Cody Latimer playing soft man coverage. Now, what he does is he tracks down Cody Latimer, he follows him, but then he realizes Sterling Shepard, who was in the slot, just ran straight into open space. And Sterling Shepard clearly knew that was going to happen. He was going to be in open space, and the play was designed for him to catch the ball behind the linebackers, but in front of the DBs. So that's exactly what he did. Cody Latimer drew the DBs back, but then Sterling Shepard just he because Cody Latimer drew the DBs back, he was able to get into that open space. But as you can see, Quinton Dunbar notices this, and as he's following Cody Latimer, he signals to the safety, and the safety signals back to switch. So Quinton Dunbar moves in, cuts the route, and just picks it off. It's a beautiful play, and it displays his knowledge very, very well, because I think it displays his knowledge very well because he knows what's going to happen. So the cornerback and the safety make that exchange, and he just comes in and just picks it off. So his knowledge was on point. And it was more, I would say it was more instinct than knowledge. He kind of just felt that it was going to happen, and he just came in and just picked it off. So as far as knowledge goes, like I said, he's definitely receiving an A+. His knowledge is his best aspect of the game. That might not be a perfect play to show how knowledgeable he is, but it shows that he understands what to do while he's on the football field. And that's a very, obviously at the NFL level, you have to do that. But as a cornerback, having that ability to just switch your position and then just come in and pick off a ball, that's you can't teach that. That's skill right there. So yeah, A+ for knowledge. With that said, let's move on to the last one.